Hello and welcome. My name is Amber and this is my reading vlog for the Lightfall Readathon, which is a mini holiday themed round of the Magical Readathon hosted by G at Book Roast. Now, the main events of the Magical Readathon are held twice a year, with the rounds lasting a month each. However, during the Christmas holidays, we have a nice, low-key, relaxed week-long readathon, which this year is starting on the 15th. I was going to do a TBR video for it, but realised that there's only 2 books that I'm going to read for it, as you can double up the prompts, which would mean it would be a very short TBR and not really worth it. But what I'm planning on reading, which I have not brought upstairs, is Brigands and Breadknives by Travis Baldree, and The Broken Places, I think it's called, and I can't remember the author of that, but of course I will put a nice little graphic here to show you. This year for the readathon we have a little bingo board. Please ignore how atrocious this looks. So we've got a little bingo board to try and get bingo on, I guess. And throughout the vlog I'll be referring to this and talking you through what I'm doing, what prompts I'm hitting and whatnot. Only 8 of the spaces are for reading. The rest are for like little activities and things. This is the first time that I am doing a weekly reading vlog. I have done a few monthly ones and have found that I don't really enjoy doing them. So I'm going to see if I like doing the weekly ones any better. It will mean checking in a bit more regularly. I think with my monthly vlogs, sometimes it will be weeks between updates. And with a weekly vlog, you can't really do that. So hopefully I will update you most days. See if I do anything interesting, probably not. And we'll also see how well I do as I am recovering from some sort of illness that caused me to lose my voice. And I'm still a little croaky now, so we'll see how well I keep that voice. But I will check in with you later when I actually start doing some reading or something from this bingo board. So I'm about to make a good start to my Lightfall bingo. I've got my book. I'm about to light a candle. Can't remember where I got this from. I've had it a couple of years now. And as you can perhaps guess by the name, it is Witcher themed. I have already checked in on a friend. 2 if you count my brother. And I will share my read on Goodreads as well. And I suppose I'm sharing what I'm reading right here as well. So Brigands and Breadknives is the sequel to Legends and Lattes, which is a book that I think I gave 5 stars because I really enjoyed it. I also enjoyed the prequel, though I can't actually remember the name of that one. At the moment, I've got no idea what Brigands and Breadknives is about. For Legends and Lattes, it was a cosy fantasy about an orc setting up a coffee shop. It was mostly a low-stakes book, but there was some action and adventure towards the end of it. With the name of Brigands and Breadknives, I am expecting a bit more action in this one, but we will see. So I had planned on filming every day for this week, but it is Wednesday, so I have missed Tuesday already. I think I didn't get much sleep on Monday night, still recovering from being ill, so Tuesday I didn't really want to film. I did get some reading done and did other things non-readathon related. So I'm still reading Brigands and Breadknives. I'm about 168 pages into it, so I'm quite far. over halfway. With the first book in this series, Legends and Lattes, it's about, I think she's a former mercenary who leaves that world behind to start running a coffee shop. And in the prequel, we see a point in her life where she becomes injured, so has to stay for a while in a town where she meets Fern, who runs a bookshop. And now in Brigands and Breadknives, we are following Fern. She starts to feel that something's missing from her life, and she thinks that moving next to Viv, the main character from the previous books, and opening her bookshop next door to the coffee shop will fill that hole. But when she gets there, she soon realises that she still feels the same way. And when drunk one evening, she sees a cart belonging to the famed Asterix, climbs inside, and then she has second thoughts, but ends up falling asleep and wakes up a day and a half away. I'm not entirely sure how she woke up a day and a half cart ride away, but she does. And she then decides she will stay with Asterix until the next town and then find her way back home afterwards. So Asterix is an elf who is famed and has books written about her. She's currently carrying out a bounty where she's caught a goblin called Zill, who is probably one of my favourite characters in this book. And they are basically going on a bit of an adventure. So whereas in the first book it's about Viv, who's lived a life of adventure and is now settling down, this is sort of the opposite, where Fern, she's lived quite a relaxed life as a bookseller, and now she is going exploring a bit more of the world and having a bit of an adventure. And I think for myself that is something more that I relate to. And I guess I relate more to Fern than I do to Viv, because I have not lived a life of adventure and have sometimes felt that there's something missing from my life, that I need to go out and see more of the world, have some sort of adventure, and not just through the pages of the book. I really like Travis Baldree's writing style, and I think it's causing me to get through the book quite quickly and to find comfort in the pages as well. It is classed as cozy fantasy, and I think this second book is perhaps less cozy than the initial two, as there is a bit more adventure, there's a bit more danger and action in it. But the writing still keeps it cozy, as do the themes, as do the characters and the bonds between them. And overall, I'm really enjoying it. And I think it will be either a 4 or 5 stars. I guess I'll read on to see. So, outside of the reading prompts, I also managed to complete another couple of prompts from the bingo board. So I had a hot drink while reading. I read when it was dark, and I don't think I've circled this off. I've also watched a movie. I watched is it A Castle for Christmas or The Christmas Castle on Netflix? It was enjoyable. I like the sort of Christmas romance movies, and although this wasn't one of my favourites, it was still quite enjoyable. So now I am going to do a bit of baking. I'm going to attempt to make a Yule log. I did years and years and years ago make a Yule log, and it was one of the best things I've ever made. But I have no idea what the recipe was, how I made it, no idea. So I'm doing a different recipe this time, and hopefully it will turn out as nice. But I've not baked for a very long time. I've never been a great baker, so I'm not expecting great things from it. I may well show the end product. It depends how ashamed of it I am. So I'll catch you later. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong, and this took all afternoon to make. It is Thursday, and I have finished Brigands and Breadknives. I didn't actually read anything yesterday. The chocolate log took all afternoon to do, and it left a little time for anything else. Also left me stressed and annoyed. It did not go to plan, and felt that something went wrong at every step. I finished it and was able to knock something off the bingo list, and today I knocked the prompts that this fulfills off, which are blue cover, 4+ rating. I think it's 4.1 on Goodreads, and for myself I rated it 4 stars as well. It's between 300 and 400 pages, cozy, and is a new release. I ended up really enjoying it in the end. There was a twist towards the end that I knew there was a twist coming, but what I predicted the twist was going to be, I was wrong. The very ending did leave me feeling a little unsatisfied. I think that was because I really wanted it to go in one direction and it went in a different one. And it wasn't anything bad with the book, it just didn't go in the direction I wanted it to. I could understand the direction it did go in, and the direction it went in made sense for the themes and I guess sort of the messaging behind the book as well. So it worked well. So I was also able to cross off play a game on the bingo board as well. I have actually been able to cross this off since Monday as I've been playing a game on my phone, but I just completely forgot that it's a game that I could cross off. I think I'd been planning on playing a bit of Witcher 3 and I was planning on using that for the prompt. So I completely missed the fact that I was playing a game daily on my phone. So I do have quite a lot crossed off the bingo board now, but I don't have a bingo. I've got 3 lines where I am 1 off getting the line, and I've got 5 lines where I'm just 2 off getting the line. So I'm doing quite well, and I'll probably get bingo tomorrow maybe, and then I might try and get the full board, see how that goes. To get the rest of the reading prompts, I'm going to read The Broken Places by Blaine Daigle. I don't know much about this book. If I remember correctly, it's about somebody in a cabin in the middle of winter, and it's a horror. That's all I know, and that might even be incorrect. But I think it hits the rest of the reading prompts. I think I'll start this tomorrow, perhaps this evening, but I'm leaning towards tomorrow. And that gives me 3 days to get it read by, and pretty much 3 days to get the rest of the bingo board done as well. There are a few things on the bingo board that I can do while reading this, but a lot of them are things I can't do while reading. Some I can do while listening to audiobooks, but the audiobook I'm currently listening to, I started before the readathon and wasn't going to count towards the readathon. Chocolate log, I was a little disappointed with it in the end. It tastes okay. It's definitely icing heavy. The cake itself, I think, is a little bit too eggy, and the icing, I used to really like butter icing, but I think I've gone off it. I think it needed to have less sugar and more chocolate in the icing, and the cake bit needed less egg. First time I've ever made cake without using flour, and I think the cake was pretty much made from egg, sugar, and cocoa powder, so it wasn't what I expected. It tastes okay, it's not too bad. It's not as good as the one I made when I was a kid. But anyway, I will catch up with you tomorrow. It is now Friday, and I am filming from a completely different place than usual. So this is because the next space on the bingo board I'm going to complete is the finish the craft, and I am planning on finishing some Lego. Now technically I don't think Lego counts as a craft, but as I'm not too far from the end of it, I thought this would be a great excuse to get it finished, and I'm going to count it as a craft. Reading wise, I am 47-ish pages into the Broken Places. Enjoying it so far. It's quite atmospheric. Don't really know much about what's going on yet though. We're introduced to our 3 main characters, who are 3 men who have been friends since kindergarten, possibly. Life isn't really going great for them. One of them, his dad died, leaving him a cabin in the middle of the Yukon wilderness. It's either the winter solstice at the moment when the book's set, or it's a few days out. And incidentally, I believe the winter solstice in the real world is on Sunday, so it's set round about now, apart from in 2019, so a few years ago. But they're going to the cabin to sort of get away from it all, with the hope that it will help how they've all been feeling recently. I think one of them, well, his dad's died, the one who owns the cabin, but also his wife had a miscarriage and then they broke up shortly after. Then one of the guys has an injury, though I'm not sure how he got the injury, but he was I want to say baseball player. So that's completely messed up his career. And the third guy was in an accident at some point where he got stuck in a grain silo. And by the sounds of it, he was legally dead for a short while, but had his life saved. But he's had some problems left on from that. So all three of them are not really doing well. So they've gone to the cabin, and I'm going to expect strange things will happen, but I'm not far enough into it to really know much yet. So I'll update you later. In the meanwhile, I'm going to do my Lego. I think I'm going to listen to some podcasts while I do so, and may take you along for the journey. So last time I updated you on my Lightfall vlog, it was Friday. So today should be Saturday, but it's not. So is today Sunday, the last day of the readathon? Nope. Monday? No. Tuesday? Still no. Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Now I have to remember what I have updated you on so far and what has happened since. So I had started The Broken Places, so I finished that on Saturday, and I don't think I have that much to say about it really. It was enjoyable, but it was also flawed. So it's about three friends who life hasn't been great, so they've gone this cabin in the Yukon in winter. Then there's a storm going on, animals start to act weird, and it ends up being life and death situations, combating supernatural, I guess, forces. I'm not sure I can tell you what they're fighting against, as it's something they learn towards the end of the book. I don't think it's something that is difficult to guess. I don't think it's something that is supposed to be a twist or anything like that. But as they find out only towards the end of the book, I'm just not going to mention it. It had a good setting. I'd say the characters were interesting, but there's three characters and they're too similar. So really it feels like the character was interesting. I wasn't the biggest fan of the ending, but I was hooked when reading it. Away from reading, with the bingo board, this book meant that I could cross off the standalone, winter setting, and white cover prompts. Then on Saturday, I also crossed off the stroll prompt, the window shop prompt, and the suggest a book prompt. And then on Sunday, I completed the bingo board by DIYing a card. It's not the sort of thing where my creative talents lie. I won't say I have creative talents, but making a card is definitely not where they are. I was actually quite happy with how it turned out in the end. So to sum up the readathon, I managed to get a full house with the bingo board. I hit all the reading prompts with 2 books, so that was The Broken Places and Brigands and Breadknives, which I am consistently calling Breadknives and Brigands. I enjoyed books. I rated this one 4 stars and I rated Broken Places 3 stars. I also liked completing the bingo board. There are a few things on there, like the complete a craft, that I probably wouldn't have done had it not been for the board, and the things that I actually enjoy doing. I've been working on the Lego medieval village for a while now, and I just needed probably an hour and a half tops to finish it, and this just gave me the push to actually do so. So I've enjoyed the readathon, and I look forward to next year's as well. I think that is all I've got to say on it. So did anyone else take part in the readathon? How did it go for you? Let me know in the comments, and as always, like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will catch you in the next one.